Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Fake Music Only podcast, the best podcast online for discussing all things EDM. I'm your host, Cole, aka the Big Finicheti, and sadly, my co-host couldn't make it today. Rip IMG, but he'll be here in the next episode. And for today's guest, you know him as one of the official content creators of Lost Lands, the founding member of the Carrot Gang, and for his in-depth reviews of dark electronic music on his YouTube channel, Nawtystep. Connor Whitmore, how the hell are you?
I'm very good, my man. That was fantastic. You got the Carrot Gang in there as well. That was brilliant.
Thank you, dude. I love Carrot Gang. Where did that come from, actually?
So me and Erin Renier, we were in Walmart, and before every festival, I got to get my carrots, man. I just got to get my carrots. So we were in Walmart, and I'm like literally scouring the whole of Walmart for these carrots. They don't have big ones; they only got small ones, but I just needed those carrots, so Carrot Gang was the first thing that came to my head, and from then on, it was just a meme basically for the whole of Lost Lands.
So you went into Walmart for the first time and came out a gang member. That's pretty fantastic.
It's essentially, yeah, that's what happened. That's what went down. The carrots the carrots made that happen, and without them, Carrot Gang would not be a thing. So Carrot Gang 5 ever, everyone.
Why carrots though? Why is that your go-to?
What, for a festival?
Yeah, yeah. Why is that your go-to snack? Like instead of like chips or something?
'Cause you got to stay healthy. You got to eat some fiber whilst you're at a festival. I won't delve into that any further. But you got to have something fresh, something that won't go off, and that is my vegetable or fruit of choice. To be quite frank.
That's kind of interesting though. I've never met someone whose favorite vegetable is carrots. Have you ever
Oh
had?
no, it's not my favorite. Don't get me wrong, Cole. It's not my favorite, but it is one that it doesn't perish easily. So, yeah,
So
just got to go.
so it's good for the longevity of a festival, I guess.
Exactly. If you're bereft of a fridge at a festival, which I think 99% of people are, then you got to go for the carrots. It's one of the only options.
Well, that's good to know. I'm to start things off. I'm just happy to finally have you on here because we've been trying to get you on this thing for like 3 weeks at this point. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm very happy to be, finally doing this as well. I mean, any sort of platform on which you can talk about this kind of music is, it's got to be cherished, and I'm very excited to be getting into some nitty gritty talking for this kind of music. So yeah, I'm very happy that you have started this thing, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I just kind of noticed that like all EDM podcasts were all like music based, so I figured there would be a market for this. Except now the Knifecast is stealing my job. 'Cause,
Yeah, have you been listening to that?
I listened through most of the first episode. I got like 10 minutes into the second one. I think I had class, so I had to shut it off. Like it's good, but I wish it could have come out in like a year instead of like 6 weeks after I started this up. But you know what? Whatever. It's fine. We're still going.
Yes, that's annoying. What's like I'm quite intrigued, but the main problem I have is not having time to listen to many mixes and podcasts and thing. Like it's the one thing that I can't stand about having to listen to so much music all the time. But like, what's the format of it? Like, is it more conversational or more music playing or?
What for the Knifecast or
Yeah, for the knife course.
for the Knifecast? It's mostly like conversations, and then they play a tune that you know they're enjoying, or like an idea or something. Like kind of in between that. They actually had Sub Focus on for the second episode, so that was kind of interesting to hear them talk.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
That's good.
and there's a pendulum and like Knife Party Discord server and everything, and like they go nuts because like I think they teased a new pendulum track in the second episode, and they had like a Knife Party ID in the first one, so you
No
know.
way.
Yeah, the Knife Party ID. I'm pretty sure it's a joke song that's never gonna come out. It's called "Eating Ass at the Rave." Uh, yeah, it's yeah. They're calling it the Lost Lands theme. Um,
gosh.
Yeah, and it's catchy and stuff, and it's nice to hear Knife Party make dubstep, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly just presets. Like one preset for the drop. So I think they just threw a joke track together. But Rob did say that we were getting an EP at some point this year, so fingers are
At
still
some point
crossed.
this year.
Yeah. Someone said, "Will we get a Knife Party EP this year?" Like on his AMA on Reddit, and he said yes. So no details yet, but there's still 3 months left, including this one. So
Exactly. Well,
yeah,
I mean, knowing them, they're gonna have a release date, and then it's gonna come out 2 months after that release date. So,
that's true. Or it'll just never come out. I
yeah.
like like when I got into EDM, I got into EDM back in like 2011, 2010 when I was like in sixth, seventh grade. But then
Mm.
I sort of fell out of it and came back in like late 2016.
Oh no
Um,
way!
yeah, yeah, seriously.
What happened?
I mean, like I was still listening to electronic music, but like it was mostly just stuff off of like Newgrounds and stuff. Yeah, I really didn't like how it happened was Battle Sirens came out and I listened to that.
Mm.
And for the first time ever, like a Zomboy track was in like my recommended feed on the right, and it was Invaders. And
Mm.
then I listened to that, and then in that video, like it was the logo for Black Label XXL. So then I looked that up on YouTube and found Space Laces, who I recognized from like Corn and Beans from Newgrounds, and then it just kind of spiraled out from there.
Yeah, yeah. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah. But the point is, when I got back in EDM, Knife Party had like already released like everything, so I never like really the only two things that they've put out since I got back in EDM were the Blood Sugar remix and Harpoon with Pegboard Nerds.
Mm.
Yeah, so I have that's a little frustrating, but
I suppose. I mean, most people are just waiting for Pendulum to really reignite, really, aren't they? I mean, it's
yeah,
like, I mean, Knife Party is an amazing thing that can't be denied, but that all stems from the experience they had as a band with three other members and the style that came with that. So it's like, so many people, that is kind of electronic music like encapsulated, and that is what they remember electronic music as, and that's all people want to hear now. It's like Knife Party has almost become this old thing. It's like people got too used to it, which is a bit upsetting because they are so amazing. But you know, I'm kind of excited for Pendulum to come back again if they do. Hopefully that ID actually means something.
that I mean I know they are working on an album because Rob has mentioned like he memed about how he was just reading people criticize how he wouldn't work on his album instead of working on his album. Um, so hopefully that actually means something. But I like one interesting thing is you say that most people are looking forward to like the new Pendulum and stuff like that. But when I was in EDM like in like 2010 and stuff not in 2010, like 2011, sort of 2012, like Knife Party was like all my friends and I were like playing and stuff, like No
Mm.
Modern Talking and Rage Valley, like both of those were like on like on repeat for quite a while. That yeah, like back when my friends actually listen to electronic music. But
Mm.
but Pendulum never really got brought up, and I think that kind of speaks to like how drum and bass is much bigger like overseas than it is in the US, unfortunately.
For
Because
sure, man. For
yeah,
sure. It's like I grew up with that band. I think what are you? Are you 20? Are you 20 or 19 or
18, 18.
18? Well,
Yeah.
there you go. I mean, it's a slight generational thing because I'm 24. So it's like I remember being doing my GCSE year, which is when I'm like 16. It's called Year 11 in England, and just hearing tracks like Witchcraft on the radio, and then going into school, and the few friends that I had at school that were also electronic music fans, just all of us completely raving about it. The first thing we were talking about was how much it compared to their classic tunes, their older albums, and yeah, I mean they're so huge in Britain, and obviously, the majority of the comment sections that I read are actually based in the UK. So you got a lot of people in those comment sections, kind of like pining for Pendulum again, and there isn't a lot of love for Knife Party in this country. I'll say that much.
Damn, seriously. Like,
I mean, I love them. For me, like Knife Party are incredible, almost probably actually on a level with Pendulum in terms of how much I enjoy the separate like artists or acts, whatever you want to call them. They've got iconic EPs. I really enjoyed their album, Abandoned Ship. And yeah, I mean that isn't me speaking for everyone though, unfortunately.
yeah, I know what you mean. Damn, the idea of hearing Pendulum on the radio is just like that's blowing my mind right now because we like
It's crazy, isn't
yeah
it?
because yeah we don't get anything close to that like the closest we get is pop hits that are produced by EDM guys like fucking Titanium by David Guetta that was on and that's not exactly my scene so but
Oh,
yeah.
surely you guys have got like a Radio One equivalent. Someone I don't know, like Zane. Do you know Zane Lowe? Have you heard of Zane Lowe?
I've not heard of Zane though actually.
He's probably like the biggest. Uh, it's hard to describe, but probably the most renowned kind of music radio DJ. I'd say in the world. Like he's from New Zealand. He was at Radio One for ages, and now he does the Beats One radio show. So I mean, yeah, he was playing out all sorts of Knife Party, Pendulum, but it all came after like 7 p.m. So he had like a 7 to 9 p.m. slot, and yeah, that was when all the bangers were played.
Oh, so there was like a 2 hour slot where like electronic, like drum and bass and like dubstep and stuff that got played out.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. I mean, I didn't listen to it that much because when he was actually around before he moved to Beats One, I was at school for the most part. That was when I was working every day. But yeah, there's definitely there was a massive radio scene for all of that music in the UK, and I think it's still going now. It's just led by different people, so it doesn't have the same appeal because Zane Lowe is such a massive person. Like honestly, you should look him up, man. Like he plays amazing sets live. His radio shows and podcasts are great. He's the guy that interviewed Kanye West for Radio One as well. Don't know if you've ever seen
Oh,
that. It's a very honest interview. But yeah, he's a big music figure.
I've definitely heard his name thrown around, but like the radio as a whole isn't even really as huge in the US like there's less people listening to it here. I think for sure. So yeah, so we don't really have those types of radio stars and everything.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
yeah, but do they still play out like do they still play out dubstep and like drum and bass like today? Even like you said, it was still going on today, maybe.
Definitely. So, I mean, you've got artists like Sub Focus and Cohen Sound who will be coming out with new albums pretty soon. Chase and Status just came out with a new album recently, and they're the sort of artists that it's like they're kind of treading that fine line between pop music and dubstep music. So they're the two extremes, and they've got that blend of the two, and that's almost to popular radio DJs. They're like, oh, that's the cool stuff. That's the way that we can get more people in, people that like electronic music, and but also don't like it too heavy. So yeah, I would say there's definitely a lot of that still being played out in the UK, especially when the track just drops. And as I said, it's part of an upcoming album. So yeah, I would say that's still about.
That's really interesting actually because the scene is very dead here at this point. Like
Where are you based?
I'm based in like the New York City area. Like I'm like 10 miles out from there,
Hmm.
or at least I was. I'm at college now. But that's where I kind of grew up and everything. And it's hard to even bring up like dubstep in conversation at this at this point in time. Yeah, like I'm not even joking. Like it's kind of seen as a joke in like where I'm from now, even though the scene is getting larger and larger nowadays. It's kind of recovering, which is
Mm.
I mean at least I think it's recovering. It's definitely getting a little more popular. You see more people listening to it. I walked into a store a few days back and they were playing AU5, and that was very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, and but it really surprised me because I didn't expect that. But yeah, like I've like back home I had like one friend that listened to electronic music all the time, and another that sort of listened to it, and then another that only listened to Savant, but like that was really it.
Oh
So
wow, that's quite an electronic music life to lead. Just
yeah, I
listening.
know.
What bloody hell.
There was I mean he listens to like mostly hip hop and stuff, but like he grew up with Savant, like had the merch and stuff like that, so he still checks in.
It's genuinely amazing to me how he appeals to so many people. Do you know what I mean? It's the craziest kind of music, but that can fall either way. It can either be, this is actually a bit too much for me, or it's so amazingly weird and quirky that I actually really dig it.
Yeah, Savant is strange. Like his output is absolutely massive. Like he put out four full-length albums and an EP in 2012 alone. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
yeah, that was crazy. Like because everyone was like, "Oh, you've never heard of him? You should check him out." And then I scrolled through his page, and it just kind of didn't stop. And he's got so many aliases as well. Like Blanco just came out with a new album. He's got like a 4-hour hip hop mixtape coming out under his like Data Crash alias. Like it
Mad.
yeah, it's totally mad. Like I feel weird saying that. That is not an American expression at all.
Oh mate, it is probably a very English thing. You just go like if something's a little bit extraordinary, you just say it's mad. It's just fully mad.
Yeah, and like that kind of comes in with your with your name as well, Nawtystep, because like here I thought that it, like for the longest time I thought that it was just dubstep with naughty put in front of it instead. But like turns out, what is it, like the place where you get sent when you do something bad as a kid?
Exactly. So if you are mischievous as a child, and this is the thing. See, I thought this was common also in the US, but apparently not in terms of the term itself. But yeah, if you're a kid and you're mischievous, then your mum or your dad will put you on the naughty step, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the name kind of stemmed from trying to find terms or words or phrases with the word step in it, because obviously, well, not obviously, but if you don't know, the dubstep genre was the main inspiration for the naughty step idea and channel. So I'm constantly thinking, oh, what anything to do with step, and I was like, oh, naughty step, that's quite interesting. And it just so turns out that all the music I review is proper naughty. So there you go.
Proper naughty. That oh, this is a very British conversation. That's funny to me. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like,
100%.
yeah, like it does happen to work. For people that like live in areas without naughty steps, we just have timeout corners. Like yeah,
Time out.
yeah. No, no, like my mom would just be like, go stare at the wall for 10 minutes, and then
Stare at the
that
wall.
that yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, like I mean, like it was more like sit down and like just kind of look straight at the wall. And then if you
Very
were
interesting.
and then if you were caught moving, then they would add like 5 minutes, or at least that's how it was. That's yeah, I know. That's how it was for me, at least. It was different for every household, but we did not have a naughty step.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Don't you dare move a muscle, Cole.
It was,
An extra 5 minutes, boy.
is that your American accent?
No, I mean that's just the generic one that comes out, straight away. I went through all sorts of accents at Lost Lands, man. Jeez, oh, like it was crazy.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
crazy.
How was it? How was it coming over? Have you been to America before? Like going to Lost
Yeah,
Lands?
yeah. I've been a few times. So, I've been to LA a couple of times, and I've been to Atlanta, Georgia, and I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting, but I could be wrong. So it was either my fourth or fifth time.
So you went to L.A., Georgia, and then Lost Lands was in Ohio, right? Thorn Valley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Um.
in Ohio, and I was in Iowa, either side of the festival, staying with Erin Renier.
So that so like those are three very different parts of America as well, though. Like at, like at,
Yeah,
like you're going way down south. then LA is kind of like this cultural bubble.
Mm.
Like yeah, like I've never been there personally. There was a guest that we were gonna have on who unfortunately canceled, but she's in LA and I wanted to ask her what that was like.
Mm.
Yeah, and then you're just going like right in the middle, which is like Ohio's about as standard America as you can get, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I always, as you're implying, I think, as you're saying, like all very different places, but I always enjoy myself, immensely whenever I go to America. But, small doses kind of thing, I don't think I could live there, but I definitely enjoy it a lot every time I go.
That's good. Like do you travel a lot or do you just go to America like often? Like
No, I travel a lot. It's like it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I was actually having this conversation with quite a few people out there when I was there over the last couple of weeks, and it's I mean, I don't know if you do travel much, but a lot of them were saying they couldn't just because it's so expensive to travel to these places. But I mean, for me, I want to do as much of it as I can in my life, and like I've been to like over 20 countries now, so it's
god
like
damn.
yeah. So I'm just going to keep going. Like, I want to make it to at least 70 or 80 by the time I depart this fantastic world of ours.
That wow. That's that's a great goal actually.
Mm,
As as for me, I've just become an adult. It's not like I've had like the freedom to travel wherever I want often.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, and like I've yet to really go out of the country. Like I've been to Canada twice, to see Niagara Falls, which is like right on the border, so it barely counts. But
Mm.
you know, I've
Yeah, man, of course it counts, mate. It's all about every little experience changes you as a person, and you just got to try and get as many of those as possible in whilst you can.
that's true. That's true. The most I've really traveled is for the past 4 years. My dad, my brother, and I have gone out west at like the beginning of the summer. Which is
Mm.
which is always really interesting because it is like after living like near New York in like a super populated like suburban town, like driving through just a enormous like open empty desert for like an hour is a really interesting experience because like like it sounds boring because there's literally nothing around you, but that's what makes it interesting to someone that's never really gotten to see an area like that, like no trees or anything. Occasionally,
Definitely,
yeah, occasionally there's a guy with a fruit stand on the side of the road.
man.
That's about it. Like that's something that I like that keeps me up at night. Like where do those people that are just on the sides of like roads in Arizona like go? Like I see these people with fruit stands. I see these other people with like fun houses that you pay $5 to go into, which I would not trust like ever. And it's just such an interesting lifestyle that I can't even imagine
For
living.
sure.
Yeah, but like and if that's all in America, I can only imagine like the type of stuff I'd see if I actually went like outside the country. Asia's a place that just the continent that really intrigues me
Yeah, yeah.
because like Japan especially is just so weird and like there's all these strange businesses and like I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, I could talk about it for a while, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Japan is kind of, I think it's associated with a lot of things that, we grow up with. Whether it's cartoons or music or all other sorts of art, we kind of have this understanding of it before we go. And I haven't been before myself, but it's definitely, in my top three to go to next. And yeah, I just think it just has a really like incredible kind of allure to it before even getting that too deep into the culture. You kind of know quite a lot about it without having delved in that far, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. You like you kind of pick it up sort of fast because you're surrounded by it. Like as soon as you get there,
Oh,
it's kind of
definitely,
inescapable. Yeah,
definitely.
but anyway, so this leading into something I kind of wanted to ask about. What well not really, but sort of when you went to Lost Lands, before you could actually make it to the festival, you had to camp outside like just next to a road. Is
Ah,
that right?
gosh, yes,
What was
yeah. It was genuinely everything. If you guys, well, for anyone that's listening, essentially, Erin and I have both vlogged this experience, and essentially what happened was that we were traveling from Iowa to Ohio on the Wednesday, which was the day before the festival started. And so we got there at 10 o'clock, and we knew it was going to be a long drive. We were in this guy's RV, and this guy was a photographer. He was going to be a photographer at Lost Lands. So we were like, okay, this guy's legit. We were traveling with his wife as well. It was all good. We were in the RV. But as we, the closer we got, we were kind of thinking more and more, where are we actually going to stay? Like, is this guy what is this guy gonna say when we get there? And so we have the whole Walmart experience. I'm very excited. It's my first time there. I'm running off that high, and then we get to the festival grounds about 10 minutes later, and he's all, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't take you any further." And we're both like, we can't really say anything because we're not really in the position to. But then we end up sort of driving past this bit of green, which, bearing in mind, is literally right next to the motorway. And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm going to drop you guys here." And it's like, and we're just like, what? We didn't say anything. We were genuinely speechless to say anything. But yeah, we ended up sleeping literally on the side of the motorway in this very dimly lit bit of green. And literally, all the bad things you're thinking about that's exactly how it was.
Oh my god! Like, did you ever ask if like it would be okay to stay in the RV for that night? Like, just crash on the
This is
floor
the
or
thing.
something?
So that was our instinct in terms of asking him and kind of working around, the situation. But we genuinely didn't feel like anything we said would kind of, I don't know, correct his thinking or change his mind in any way. It was a really difficult situation, and by this point, bear in mind, it's 2 o'clock in the morning on the Thursday. So we're in two minds. We're kind of like, it's only 6 hours. We just got to ride this through. But at the same time, it was so dark and there was no one around, and it was just the spookiest, eeriest experience probably the spookiest experience I've ever had. Like, not gonna lie, been some weird places, been some weird countries, but that was really, like, actually quite frightening. Like, just knowing, whilst being in the tent, that any kind of lorry or anything could kind of drive over us at any point. As scary as that sounds, like. And then we got woken up at 7 o'clock in the morning by these policemen who were, rattling the tent, saying, "State property, wakey wakey, time to get up." And all that kind of. Oh my gosh, it was horrifying, Cole. Like, it was honestly, feel for your boy and feel for Erin. It was horrific.
Yeah, when I saw that in the vlog, I thought, like, what would I do in that situation? I think I would just kind of I might be freaking out there. I don't know. Did
Yeah,
like
100%.
did you ever try and like walk to the festival gate? Because like didn't you Aaron and Brian get like free VIP passes and are like featured content creators or whatever? Did you ever
Yes.
think to like leverage that at all, or was that not?
So, this is the thing. So the first thing we tried when we got to the festival grounds was camping with all the volunteers for the festival, but they wouldn't let us do that, and we were like, it's literally one night. It's going to be 6 hours. We're going to just camp up quickly. As soon as it hits 7 or 8 o'clock, we're going to get up and go. I promise. And they're like, "No, I'm sorry, we can't let you do that." There was so much open green for us to just camp up in, but they wouldn't let us do it. And there we were. We had no idea how close we were to the festival. So in the morning, we ended up taking an Uber twice around the whole festival before realizing that where we needed to go was only about a 10-minute, 15-minute walk from where we had been camping the night before. It was just an absolute farce, man. Like, honestly, you could make a comedy out of it.
Oh my god! I mean, that's a good story at least, but that's really shitty that A, the
Oh,
guy would drop you off, B, they wouldn't let you camp with them for like 6 hours.
I kind of feel I kind of empathize with his situation, because if he could do that, then of course he would. I don't think he wanted to leave us there. Certainly didn't seem like he wanted to, but he still did that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to take that into consideration. He still went ahead and did it. So I mean, yeah, it is an incredible story, but I'm personally happy that I was in America, meaning that I couldn't actually, contact anyone really, because I didn't have internet on my phone. If I use my internet on my phone out there, it costs about, what, 17 million pounds a minute or some BS.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I contacted my mum, she would have flipped like the hell out. Like, it would have been a really bad thing. So luckily I kept it to myself and I rode it through. We rode it through, and now we're out the other side, and we're probably, 10 times better off for it.
That's definitely an experience. But and it wasn't as traumatic, but like I remember seeing in the vlog that you had trouble leaving the festival as well, like at first.
Oh
Like
gosh,
like
that's another whole can of worms.
yeah, like you pointed this out, it's like, yeah, we have to stay here for the night, but like I didn't really get to see what it was too clearly.
So for everyone that's listening, I'll leave it kind of on a cliffhanger. So we, the festival got shut down early because of this. They were anticipating a hurricane, a flood, a storm, and obviously this guy that dropped us off isn't getting in contact with Erin. She's messaging him. He's not responding. Security are coming over to us in the main, like in the actual camping area. You guys are gonna have to leave. What are you doing here? And we're just like, we're in a really weird situation here. And so they understood. They talked with us. They were very understanding. And then they told us to go and sleep in one of the like merchandise stalls, one of the food stalls.
What? Wait, wait,
Yeah,
wait! You just had to sleep in one of the pop-up shops that was like, or
yeah, exactly. We had to. We were told to sleep in one of the like pop-up tents that had either food or, merchandise or art or whatever gets sold in these things. So
oh
that
my
is exactly
God,
what happened. And from there, I will, invite you to watch the episode, because it's funny. It's actually funny from that point.
dear God, I'm glad your tickets were free. That seems, oh, that seems awful. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but I
like,
mean, like, we paid that bloke to travel us to and from, Ohio. So there's that. But I mean, it was a 12-hour drive each way, 13 hours. So I mean, we did have to pay him for it. But I mean, yeah, it was, as I said, every bad thought you have about that what it could potentially be, it was that. It was that. And bearing in mind, we were in a pop-up tent, and this hurricane is coming, so I'm having to stay awake the whole time. Erin's fast asleep. Much love to Erin, but I mean, come on. I had to stay up the whole time, just looking after the stuff. It's all good. The rain starts pouring down at like 5, 6 o'clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen right now? Like, we are in a literal, like, Hades was like conjuring the tsunami in bloody Ohio sort of thing. Like, it was just crazy.
my God, I'm okay.
Not
So
Hades the producer, obviously. Much love to Hades. I mean, Hades the Greek god.
of course, okay. So you couldn't camp out with the volunteers, and you had to sleep in a pop-up tent on the way out. What did like were you treated any differently at the festival, like backstage access or anything, because because you were like I don't know the exact title, not featured content, like official content creators for
Yeah,
the
so
festival?
we were invited as media people, and yeah, we got to be, we you get a VIP ticket with that, and that just gives you, access to some very handy things like clean toilets and going in the middle of, those middle parts that they have in main festival stages,
Yeah, I
with like
saw.
the rails either side.
You
And
did you ever go inside there, like go in the middle of everything?
oh mate, yeah, mate, we were there so much, and there were artists chilling in there and stuff, and um, it was just we got access to some, pretty cool like backstage stuff as well, and it was just a really nice experience actually. I met some great people. and some of them recognized me as well, which was great. It was like it was very much an experience of I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and I'm happy that people are appreciating what I'm doing, and they're kind of telling me to my face. They're not just messaging me and telling me that. And it was very much just this is what I'm. It was a reminder of me. It was a reminder for me, sorry, of like why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the kind of, I suppose, the difference I'm trying to make within this scene. Um, so yeah, it just all kind of came together and just stuck really well in terms of that, like, I don't know, kind of from a holistic viewpoint, if you will.
Did 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 you think it was even like possible for you to be in like this sort of situation where like the biggest festival has you like as a media person meeting all these artists just like 10 months into this channel?
No, no. To be frank, it was a plan about 3 or 4 months down the line, 3 or 4 months, sorry, 3 or 4 years down the line. But yeah, I mean, the thing is with things like this, you gotta. I just knew that I knew that I kind of had something, and I knew that people they'd said to me already that they appreciated what I was doing, and that was enough to kind of use as a springboard. On top of the fact that I had used, sorry, not used, on top of the fact that I had made Lost Lands videos already. So I'm talking to them, and from there you just start talking and sharing ideas, and that's when I got Erin involved, and then Brian involved as well, and then it just goes from there.
It's cool that you kickstarted that whole group, like considering that your channel is like the smallest of the three. And you're the one that really got the ball moving on that, which is I think pretty impressive.
Mate, as I was saying, it was like I expected, or I wanted it to happen 3 or 4 years down the line, but I mean around 5 months ago I was like, what is to stop me from just going ahead and asking them if they would like someone to help filming, or someone to do this or this. I originally had much bigger plans for it that they unfortunately couldn't do. They may take it on next year, who knows? But yeah, it was something that I felt I could go along with, and that I could pursue. And yeah, as you say, my channel is not my channel isn't the biggest of the three of us, which is it's okay. But yeah, I definitely felt like I could do that, and even at that point, I must have had like 100 subs maybe when I originally emailed them. But still, I knew that there's so few people covering this stuff that they're going to really enjoy anyone who's so passionate about it coming to them and contacting them about working for them, if you get me.
Yeah. I totally get your point. Like, cause all they have to do is give you the ticket, which doesn't really cost them any extra money because they're getting so many people at the festival, and then all these vlogs and all this coverage shows up on YouTube,
Right.
like a few weeks later. So that's good for them. It's obviously really great for you. Like honestly, for a channel your size, like starting up this early, like you're doing quite well. Like you're almost at 1,000 subscribers in under a year. So congrats for
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
I know you had a few videos featured on like what was it, the Sidewalk Talk channel?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that come about? Because I remember seeing that pop up in my feed and being very like confused because like I'm subscribed to both like both
Yeah,
of
I
you
can
guys.
imagine, man. I can imagine. That was completely random. Lauren messaged me out the blue after I posted my res review, and I think she was just randomly searching through a hashtag. Like the hashtag must have been like album review or something like that, because she was looking for a few more kind of review kind of videos to be on her channel. And I think, yeah, she was looking through a random hashtag connected to that, and then she found my thumbnail, which was just an Instagram post of the Res album review. And then she messaged me and she was like, "Would you mind if I put this on my channel?" And obviously, I was like, I've been watching her videos for a few months now, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead with it." There are some things that you have to sacrifice, but I'm very happy to be, giving her my reviews as and when I want them because, it just kind of spreads the word. And it's not only spreading the word, with what I'm doing. No, sorry, it is. It's what I'm saying is it's not just about spreading the Nawtystep word. It's more just spreading the word about how we can talk about electronic music and how in depth we can go with it, as opposed to just calling it trash or garbage or great or amazing. There's so much in between that we can explore, and that's all I'm trying to do is just get people and encourage people to go in depth about what they enjoy or what they dislike, whilst keeping it respectful all the same. So yeah, I'm just happy that that kind of, I don't know, analysis and care and appreciation for this kind of music gets that kind of audience, even though it is harder to consume.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was pretty surprised when I found your like when I first found your channel because like I'd been subscribed to Landon Remixes and the
Mm.
Wonky Angle. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And those were like that was like my main source of like EDM related reviews and stuff. And like they're both like fantastic channels. Don't get me wrong. But then I saw your channel. And it was like 15 minutes talking about like a 4-track Black Label EP, and I was like, whoa, holy shit. like I'd never heard someone go that in depth. Just and like in just talking about it for that long. So like you definitely have like your channel definitely has an appeal that separates it from the other people reviewing this type of stuff. Um
Yeah, I suppose I think the big problem is that a lot of dubstep or a lot of just bass music generally kind of caters. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to make assumptions here, but from what I've known and from what I've seen, from how I've heard people talking when I was at Lost Lands, for example, a lot of this music caters to people who have quite short attention spans. So they're gonna. A lot of people just skip the intro and go straight to the drop. If they don't like it, they don't listen to it again. If they do like it, they'll listen to it a few times, and then they'll just move on to the next thing and keep on moving because there's so much content, there's so much music that comes out these days. So if they're going to be doing that, they're hardly going to be listening to someone talking 15 minutes about it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a complete community thing. The people that are there, like yourself and a few others that comment on pretty much a lot of videos. You know, those they're few and far between, but you got to cherish them because the rest of the people, it's like they go into it and then they dip out, and then they go into another one and then they dip out, and it's a merry-go-round that just keeps happening like that. So going in depth with dubstep music, I love it. I'm never going to stop doing it, but it is difficult, getting that traction because it's not what people are used to.
yeah, I know what you mean. I always get super annoyed when I see in the comments like drop button and that's like a timestamp in the video because like because building an intro is just as much a part of the track as the drop, because if you can't build the tension then the drop doesn't really hold much water.
100%, mate. It's,
Yeah,
it's probably, I think it's the most important. Like the song has to hook you from the start, right? Even if it's a short introduction, it's got to lure you in. It's got to sell itself. It's got to create a story. All of these things, and if it doesn't have that, and it is just a drop, as you're implying or saying, then as you're saying, it doesn't hold. It just doesn't. There's nothing really as substantial to it as if it did have, an, an intro that was entirely fitted and appropriate for, the dubstep or the trap or the drum and bass that followed it.
yeah, for certain. Like there are a lot of tracks that, like, to be honest, like the drops by themselves don't really impress me that much, but like when I hear it in the context of the full song, then it's fantastic. Like Rumble,
Yeah,
like that drop is good, don't get me wrong, but like without the build up I don't know if it'd be half as exciting. And same with like Exterminate by Excision.
yeah, I could not agree more.
Yeah. So
with
like,
those two tracks in particular as well, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean those are two of the first tracks that would come to mind actually. Um,
yeah, I mean like there's definitely a lot more there are more intricacies with this with this type of music than a lot of people give it credit for, because like as complex as a lot of it is, like it doubles up as just being good kind of stupid vent music, like to people. Well, like not stupid. Like people perceive it as just stupid vent music, like something to headbang to.
Mm.
Like even though it's a lot more than that. Um, and but I think because it doubles up as that, a lot of people kind of don't really analyze the tracks all that much or anything.
Mate,
Um,
there are so many. There's such an intricacy to a dubstep track. Do you know what I mean? There's so much to convey. With 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 a lot of other electronic music, it kind of follows a theme, or it has a particular feeling or emotion running through the whole thing. But with dubstep, it's like you can build it up in a dreamy way. You can have the darkness running through the whole thing. You can make it a bit quirky so that it sounds like it's not taking itself too seriously. You've got all these different subgenres. Like it's so complex, and I think it's just something, as I think you're saying, that people really take for granted.
yeah, I think one of the main problems is that is that a lot of people don't really know how to tell the difference between a good dubstep track and one that's bad, because you can whip up like if you know how to use a DAW and have enough samples and presets, you can make something that like sounds fine to someone that doesn't really know what to listen for, like in like a day, and then like put it out. Um, I think a lot of people find it hard to tell the difference between something that was, like crafted, and like the drums and the basses and the synths were all like handmade. And it's hard for people to tell the difference between that and something that's just presets and loops and samples and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that turns off a lot of newcomers, or like people just getting into it. Like I was in a call with two of my friends the other day, and I put Overdrive by Space Laces in, and then also a remix that Dodge and Fusky did back when Dodge was just kind of using presets in like all of his drops. Um, the remix that he did for Getter's Sinner is one of my like least favorite dubstep songs of all time, because like the whole drop is just Virtual Riot samples, like the entire thing. Like someone actually made a video like just clicking the samples and playing the song. But anyway, and
What year is
they
that from?
that must have been
Is that
15. That fit.
2014?
I'm pretty sure it's 15. I forget what Getter EP it was a part of. A lot of those blend together for me as well. But yeah. But I don't know. Yeah. It's just hard to tell between a good and bad one. For someone that's just brand new and doesn't know what they're listening for.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel that entirely.
Yeah. But for like for the people that know what to listen for, it's really satisfying hearing something that's like handcrafted from the start and doesn't use any presets. Um,
Definitely.
yeah. Okay. Actually, okay. But like we talk about dubstep and like dark electronic music a lot and stuff like that. But like outside of the dark stuff, like drum and bass and like bass house and dubstep, what do you usually listen to?
Oh, it's a good question. My favorite band is Muse.
Muse.
Um,
I've not heard of them.
you've never heard of them. They are a British band, kind of pop rocky, kind of Queen-esque.
Ah, okay.
Very, overly dramatic, massive symphonies, huge guitar riffs, all sorts of stuff like that. Incredible singing from Matt Bellamy. Um, yeah, just very dramatic. I think that was almost a kind of segue into enjoying dubstep, because it's quite appealing on the ear, yet it's still got that really grungy kind of dark heaviness to it, which is probably the kind of dubstep that I enjoy the most, to be honest. Like bro step, with those really electrifying leads, but at the same time very very harsh demonic kind of sounds. that kind of mix, that kind of juxtaposition is what really gets me going. But aside from that, have you heard of System of a Down?
I have heard that name. I don't know what they make, but I've definitely heard that name thrown around.
Just the most surreal, like cartoonish heavy metal music. Like, again, brilliant. If you're into heavy music in any way, well, probably more so if you're into like rock in any sort of way. They are absolutely fantastic. Kind of comical, quirky, and yeah. Aside from that, I used to really, really be into Little Wayne. I'm yet to listen to the Carter Five. I'm excited to dig into that at some point soon. But yeah, I used to be like a massive hip hop and rap head. Like, absolutely loved Eminem and stuff like that. And then, one day I was just sat at my mum's computer, randomly scrolling through YouTube, and Skrillex's remix of "Hey Sexy Lady" was on the right hand side, and I clicked on it, and I was blown away. I was sold, and I never went back. So there you go.
There's the origin story.
That is the origin story.
That's that's awesome,
It
actually.
literally is. Like, that is the moment. It was in October 2010, I think. Yeah, it was pretty mind blowing experience. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can sort of relate because before I got into electronic music, I was deep into like heavy metal and stuff.
What
But
sort of bands?
I mean, I never really got into bands specifically because like I didn't have an iPod or anything like that because I was only like 7 or 8. Like I got into electronic music when I was like 10, and then I didn't really go back from there. But honestly, I think it was mostly just songs from the Guitar Hero 3 soundtrack, to be honest. Um,
Yes,
yeah, but
yes.
yeah, but I remember my dad showing me some like Iron Maiden and REM and stuff like that. And I don't think they.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a lot of fun. But then like my friends showed me Equinox, and I was like, why would I listen to this whole heavy metal song that only like has like a few super heavy guitar riffs and everything like that when I can just listen to this thing, which has like minutes of it of just gnarly stuff.
That is so true. Like, I've, for my whole kind of, dubstep existence, as it were, like my bass music life, I've tried to pinpoint what it is exactly about, dark and heavy music that just entices people, and just really gets people going, because it's completely satanic and hellish, yet you know people like yourself and me and so many, millions of other people absolutely love it, and it's just I've always been trying to pinpoint exactly why it is. Hopefully I'll get there at some point in my lifetime, but I just want to know. I just want to know.
Get like a so like is your goal to just have like a master thesis sort
Yeah,
of stuff? Oh,
exactly. Yeah, like write a dissertation about it. Like, why is it that this music appeals to us so much? So it really intrigues me, actually, because on the I can completely understand why someone wouldn't like it, and when someone asks me why I like it, I don't freeze entirely. I find a way of explaining, but it's a different explanation every time, as if it completely changes from one experience to another, years and years down the line, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah, I do know what you mean. Like usually what I go with when someone asks me why I like electronic music, I kind of go with the fact that it's usually one person doing everything. Like all the like there are duos and like whole bands and stuff like that, but it's usually one person doing everything.
Mm,
And the skill doesn't come from like playing an instrument, it comes from making your own instruments from the ground up for every song.
definitely.
And I find that really interesting. But at the same time, like I know that's not entirely it because like for a long time, like before I even listened to like dubstep heavily, because like I fell out of mainstream EDM, but I still listen to like electronic music exclusively. And I was listening to things like chip tune and like and
Mm.
like I guess more like simple house music and stuff like that. And like sound design isn't really super prevalent there. And I'm sure a lot of the like the melodies were really nice, but I'm sure they were just picked from like a synth preset or whatever, but I still enjoy them to this day. Somewhat, I do kind of wonder what about those like, what about the fact that it's a computer noise and not like a live instrument appeals to me so much. So that it like that's definitely an interesting question to raise.
Mm. It's like I think the fact that it is computerized as opposed to something, that's more real or that we're more familiar with, kind of puts us in like an alternate reality almost. It's like music that is kind of beyond our understanding, but yet is so like readily available to us, so that we feel that we can, immerse it ourselves in it completely, sort of thing.
Oh, so you're saying because it's so like unfamiliar and like out there that's why it appeals?
Exactly. It's unfamiliar and it's strange and it's different and it's outer worldly and kind of extraterrestrial. But at the same time, as I was saying, it's just so like readily available and easy to consume. And it's like, if you even like it, then you love it. And if you don't like it, then you're not going to pay it much attention. Like my girlfriend, for example, she can't stand the music that I listen to for the most part. Like she completely cannot hack it. And she was watching, bless her, she's been watching my Lost Lands videos, but she's been watching them with the sound completely muted until I start talking in every single video.
That's
So,
funny.
and that's something I understand. It is very abrasive stuff, and it isn't normal, and it isn't actual instruments, as I've heard a lot of people say to me. But you know, there is something kind of like, I don't know, like kind of primal or innate about the enjoyment of it. I don't know. It is very interesting, and if you go to a show, you can see it like in its full form with everyone, as you were saying earlier, like head banging and going crazy, and it is just another thing entirely from your normal guitar, piano, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it it's very interesting. Like it was very interesting to finally go to like an actual live show a few weeks back.
Yeah, it must
Um
have been amazing.
yeah, it was yeah, the first show that I ever went to was Electric Zoo. Um yeah, out on Randall's Island, and I had to take a boat over there and everything. Um and it was boatloads of fun, but I'm glad I wasn't like staying overnight anywhere or anything, because like by the end of just like 6 to 8 hours of like of just dancing to this stuff and walking around, I was like my neck was sore
Mm.
because someone hit it in a mosh pit, and I was and like my legs were tired. The boat was getting me like seasick and stuff. Like on the way
Yeah,
back, it really does take it out of you more than I thought it would.
100%, man. It's it's tiring. It's intense.
Yeah, and plus the food is very expensive there. So I was living off like a bottle of water and one chicken strip on a stick for the whole time.
That is savage. That is savage.
I had one slice of watermelon to at the very end, but that was about it. Like it's kind of annoying how they can jack the price of like water and just food up so much, because like there's like where else are you gonna get it, like at these
Yeah,
festivals?
I mean, like these places, like these stores, whatever you want to call them, they pay a decent amount of money to be like selling their stuff where they are, I think. And so it's kind of the only thing they can do to even like break even, let alone make a small profit. So it does suck for us, the consumer, that we have to buy that stuff and it's our only option and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, at Lost Lands they did it good because they had water bottles for $2, which was fantastic. Obviously the food cost a fair bit, but the water was very readily available if you had your change on you.
Yeah, no, $2 is like that's a little mind-boggling for a festival of that size. But
Madness.
yeah, didn't you say that it got dirty like towards the very end of it or something like that? Like not the
Yeah,
bottled water, or like
Yeah, no, yeah, the station water. Yeah. Was that did you watch my review video?
I was listening to it because I have YouTube Red, so sometimes I just like put the video on, then like shut the phone off.
Yeah.
I wound up going to this thing at like 5 o'clock. And I had to shut it off before I finished it.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's all good, mate. No worries. Don't worry about it. I'm not bitter. No, no, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, yeah. So I think by the third day, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it might have been second day, but I'm pretty sure it's third day. Yeah, the water coming out of the water stations. It wasn't the clearest. It wasn't the clearest. I'll tell you. Like I started drinking it, and I was like, this actually tastes a little bit strange.
oh no.
And I put the cap back on. I looked at Erin, and she was like just horrified, kind of looking at it. And then I held it up to the sun, and it was genuinely like champagne color kind of
Holy
thing.
shit. Yeah,
Um,
that like when you're drinking water, that sentence should stop at, this kind of tastes.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were things that they can. I mean, I say it in the video. There were many things that they can, develop and improve for next year if it happens, which I'm pretty sure it will. But yeah, generally fantastic festival. I can't knock them for that, for things like that.
Yeah. I'm like, from what I've heard, there were a bunch of people that don't even really listen to that type of music, but just showed up because they were like, "Oh, it's party of the summer, dude." Um,
Yeah, yeah.
there's,
I mean, that doesn't bother me that much, but I can see why it would bother people, even though it doesn't bother me.
I mean, it doesn't bother me until they do stupid shit, and ruin the whole vibe. I mean, like, I wasn't there or anything, but like just the fact that people were taking shit like that and actually like deaths were happening is,
Mm.
ugh, that like that does not sit well with me in the slightest with this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Especially if it's like the first thing that you're going to, like your first 3 day festival. Like, you should probably just, play it by ear, stay careful, get more
Yeah.
rest than you think that you need. But I don't know. I wasn't exactly there, so I can't say too much about it. But that's just the vibe that I get from a lot of people.
Yeah, no, and it's a fair observation. I mean, the problem is that everyone has their own opinion, and everyone's opinion is pretty well founded, um, and reasonable, and you know careful of everyone's intentions and what the organizers were trying to do and what attendees were trying to do. But there's kind of this divide at the moment, and that's kind of why I made the video, because people are either hating it or loving it, and I'm saying it's a complete middle ground. Like there are some things that were bad and that need to improve, but there are also so many incredible, amazing things that made it an amazing event. And seeing people comment saying, I'm so happy I didn't go. Oh, I'm never going to go. Hearing all of this stuff, like we can't be having that. We can't be turning people away that haven't even been yet. This is the dubstep festival of all dubstep festivals. You know what I mean? Like people should feel like they can go, and bad things happen, but that can't be entirely represented by the people that you know exaggerate so much and completely blow up everything that happened, because it just wasn't quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, like when you get a festival that maxes out like the total amount of people that could really ever possibly go. Like they had like 40,000 people, I think,
Yeah,
and they're only on year 2 of running this thing. Like there are gonna be some mistakes, some oversights, because like that's just not a whole lot. Like that's just not enough experience to handle that magnitude of people. Like you're gonna get your fair share of dumb people or people that are just, well, yeah, like you're gonna get a fair amount of people that just do stupid shit at the festival, and you can't let that ruin your vision of like how it was run and how everything turned out in the long run. I
yeah,
think.
yeah. That's it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
There better be a Lost Lands 2019, because I I still want to make it happen. Just maybe have it happen in the summer this time.
Definitely, man. And then we can meet, and then we can all of us electronic music, YouTubers can get together finally.
That would be fantastic. Actually, that meetup that you, Brian, and Aaron had at and you brought all the people to the Hesh set. Like
Yeah.
like like that seemed absolutely mental. Just like this stampede of people.
Yeah,
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 in
exactly.
like just in tie-dye shirts, just running towards the stage. That was very
Yeah,
funny.
no, it was lovely. It was lovely. Everyone was so nice and just had a great time. Raging with everyone, and yeah, it's exactly how it sounded. We met up and then we just went to the set, and that pretty much. It was just a great time. Very, very wholesome dubstep experience, if
Yeah,
that's even possible as a thing.
no, it seemed very wholesome with everyone getting their shirts and everything like that, like the Festival Finesser shirts.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch. When is your merch gonna drop, by the way?
It's I'm in the process of like making a website at the moment.
You're making
Um,
it like using Squarespace or like from scratch or like.
oh, that would be telling now, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm drafting up ideas. I've got someone kind of in the process of helping me do that. And once that's set up, I'll set up the kind of merchandise page, and from there we go. I'm gonna be probably releasing a few more things in the near future, including some socks, which is a little
Socks.
yeah, socks. A little that's a little leak for you for your channel. Some socks.
For sure, that'll get the front page of Reddit. Nawtystep drops some socks in the near
Well,
future.
it's the thing. So obviously, well, not obviously, but my friends don't listen to this music as much as I do. My school friends, this is. But they were looking at my t-shirts and they were like, "Yeah, fuck, man, I would." Sorry if you don't allow swearing, I
Oh no,
shouldn't have
no,
like that.
no, swearing is totally fine. Don't worry.
All right, cool. But they were like, "Yeah, fuck, man, I would definitely like wear these things." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Like, what kind of things would you want to wear?" And they're like, "Rav, like, you should definitely like do some socks." And I was like, so rogue, like so weird. But then they weren't even joking. I was like, okay, why? It's like, well, people, you can put emblems on socks, you can put symbols on socks, you can put the words on the bottom. People can't really see them, but it's like they're just attached to you for the whole day. Do you know what I mean? It's a sock. No, gotta rep the socks, man.
If I can get my hands on some Carrot Gang socks in the near future, I will 100% buy them.
Carrot gang.
Carrot Gang socks. I would I would pick those up so fast.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows, Cole? Who knows?
Every episode since the one that I did with Dumo, I try and find something that's like new information that I can post on Reddit to spread the podcast around a bit.
Oh yeah,
This
what
this this
which
episode I
Reddit
got.
is it?
I mean like I'll just put in like R EDM or like R Monster Cat if like it like Dumu is a Monster Cat artist, so
Oh yeah, yeah,
it'll,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That one did well in that subreddit actually. I think that's our first 100 view video at the moment. So
Sick. That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's doing well. You think you can beat Dumu? You think you can top him?
Well, it's the thing. So I'm definitely gonna post this about like I mean this is cool. I'm chatting about the music that I love with someone else, and I hope it's a good listen. So I'll definitely be sharing it about. And as I was saying, I've got a lot of school friends who you know either they just straight up don't like the music, or they even struggle to understand why I like the music. And so I think hearing me talk about it will probably, not enlighten them. That's probably a bit strong, but kind of show them in a way how you can be passionate about music that is so out there and different and abrasive, sort of. So yeah, I'll be telling people this is about, and who knows,
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean that'd be great. You don't have to share it if you don't want to or anything, but
mate.
yeah.
I definitely want to. I was. I don't know what your aspirations are with this thing, but when I had people encouraging me in what I was doing at the very start, it meant the world. So it doesn't really, it doesn't take much for me to. It's not even a favor, I want to do it. I want to do it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean, like really for this thing, it's just like I just like to get to a place where there's consistently just people watching it because like for the first 4 episodes we had 3 subscribers, and that was a guest that we had on, myself and my co-host.
Mm.
But the Dumo episode got us to 16, and then the one that we did with a slightly smaller producer named Safaro got us to 19. So you know what? Like, as long as there's people listening, I'll be happy to make this. It's a lot of fun.
Of course, of course. This is exactly my reasoning with what I'm doing. It's like because I was at university in Birmingham, which is just north of London in the UK, and every day I was listening to music, probably half of my day every day, and I was so opinionated on all of it, and I was like, at that point, I was writing the odd blog on the Nawtystep word, what's it called? Word. Anyway, it's a blog kind of platform. WordPress, that's the one.
Oh, oh,
And
so that's where you ran your blog on WordPress?
yeah, so I used to write the odd thing on my WordPress blog, and then obviously no one read it because no one reads these days. Everyone watches videos. So then at that point, I started watching Anthony Fantano, and you just connect the dots, and like what you're saying, if you have a passion like that, you have just got to do something with it. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time in a way.
Yeah. I definitely know what you mean. Like for me, like electronic music has been all that I listened to since I was in middle school. And it's rare to like actually get to talk about it.
Mm.
So like in a way, this podcast exists so I can just vent all the thoughts that I have about like whatever's going on in like an hour or two, and then I won't have to bring it up like in places where like 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 it wouldn't be natural to bring it up like just in real life, so I can kind of get my thoughts out like every couple weeks, and then just go back to listening and consuming, and then accumulate more, rinse and repeat. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it's such a good thing, man. Honestly, if you can, just remember the best times that you have doing this thing and the most fun that you have, and it will just keep on making you want to do it because you will have times where there are things pulling you down or just things getting in your way that will make you want to stop ASAP. But you got to remember that you love it and that there are a lot of people out there engaging with what you're doing, and just keep going with it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we've been going for about an hour and 12 minutes now. It's been a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I want to end it off with one more thing, because we've been talking like a lot around the scene and everything,
Sure.
but I haven't really gotten your opinions on like specific artists or tracks or anything. So I'm gonna name a bunch of different like labels and then also genres, and then
Okay.
you tell me like your favorite artist in that genre or like
Wow.
label.
Okie dokie.
I mean, if you can't give an answer, it's totally fine.
This is potentially the thing that puts me in trouble, Cole, but here we go. Here we go.
It's just favorites. It's not saying who you dislike. Okay.
Yes, true.
All
Here we
right.
go.
All right. Starting off with an easy one. Between both Disciple and Never Say Die, who's on top?
Who's on top for me?
Yeah.
The number one.
The number one on both of those, like in between both of those labels. You can only pick one.
Well, I mean, this is like who do you count as a Never Say Die artist kind of thing. But
Um,
if we're saying that Space Laces, for example, is a Never Say Die artist, then it's him because
I I,
well,
I, I I would say he counts because he's got the EP and then he's also got Bug Bass and Cruise Control.
alrighty, so I'm
Yeah.
going with him.
All right. Nice. What about
Also, shout out Space Laces. Ian's a lovely bloke. I met him at Lost Lands, and he was so nice to me. And yeah, shout out if you hear this, Ian. Much love.
Hold on, you got to speak with him?
Yeah,
God
man.
damn, I'm jealous. All right, whatever. Just gonna suppress that. Oof. Okay. Fuck. All right. I'm definitely going to Lost Lands next year then.
Mate,
Um,
mate, you gotta. It's happening. Let's do it.
I gotta make it out there. But anyway, um, um, okay. Accepting Datsik, who from Firepower would be number one?
Jarvis.
Jarvis. Okay.
Yeah. He's he's not only a he's not only a very very great guy. He is one of the only people truly flying the bro step flag at the moment, in my opinion. His production is so clean and tight and well assembled. His ideas are great. I just think he's massively underrated and that he deserves way more of a following than he has.
All right then. I've heard Jarvis's name thrown around, but I haven't seen a whole lot of his tracks. So definitely gonna have to check that out. Here's a label I know you're into. Who from Odio
Oh
is
no, I
top one?
can't. I can't
You
answer
can't
that.
you can't do it. All right, all
Uh,
right, all right. No, no.
what I will say is that I have been really, really enjoying Basic this year. I think his sound design is absolutely incredible. I think it's off the chart. Like it's honestly crazy to me that kind of some of the songs he makes. Like, yeah, really, really mad style. Really mad style. That's a good question though. You almost got me there.
Not okay. So Basic is not your favorite, but definitely deserves a mention.
He
Shout out to
might be my favorite Cole. Who knows?
who knows, but shout outs to Basic then. All right. Last label, Cannonballin'.
Whew. See, I really enjoyed that Hades EP actually. Funnily enough,
Yeah, no, I mean like that was a really solid like three track EP. Like
yeah. Uh, it's an interesting one because I don't really associate Cannonballing with having like set producers, if you know what I mean. Apart from maybe people like Apache and obviously BTSM and Yuki,
let
maybe.
Electric is also pretty
Electric,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, Electric's great, and yeah, okay. So I don't know if you probably haven't been watching my channel for this long, but his track with Autodidact Alpha Dogs that was my number one track of 2017.
I have not seen that video, but I
You
know
don't want to watch it. It looks. I mean, you can watch it with if you just have the sound on without watching it. I mean, it's a real kind of sign of how kind of much my videos have progressed since I first started out. But
I mean,
yeah, that was my favorite track of last year.
oh, nice. I like just going off that for a second. I think I came in to your channel like right as your content was like really starting to find like the right formula because it was the What's So Not review.
Ah, yes,
Yeah, and that was the first one. Like I think like in a different setting, different
yes,
camera angle.
exactly,
But yeah.
exactly.
Anyway,
Yes, that is
so
true.
all right. So okay, yeah. So that for Cannibal, and that was the last label. I've got three kind of like niche genres, I guess. First one is like I guess the least niche. Favorite bass house producer.
Um,
I know it's difficult.
no, no. I mean, hang on. I've got a bass house playlist on my phone.
I've got one as well. Of like all the bass house tracks.
Blah 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 blah. Hmm. Don't know if you've heard of someone called Green Ketchup before,
Green ketchup.
but he's been doing bits recently. Like he's been really like been putting out some very very colorful, bouncy bass house kind of tunes. He's producing mostly for a label called Gold Digger, which is a bass house label. It's got a lot of bangers on it. They really go wrong with the stuff they're releasing. Um, Aside from that, I think I might go with someone like Swage.
Okay. Man, like
Have you heard of Swage?
I haven't like the thing is you are like you use like SoundCloud more than any other person that I know, like to the point where the app breaks on you because you're like too active on it. I think you've said a couple
Hey,
times.
that is what happened. That is literally what happened. I liked. So basically, this is a video I'm going to make in the future, which is like, how I kind of find music, how I research to find music, how I collect it all and listen to it. But it's a very long and arduous process. Like it's yeah, and I ended up using it so much that SoundCloud essentially banned me from liking anything or even commenting on anything. Anything aside from scrolling, they essentially like stopped me from doing on their app. So
Jesus Christ. I mean, they didn't expect anyone to like their platform that much. That's kind of funny.
exactly. That's such a funny way of saying it. It's exactly it. That's why they're in the shit.
Just like
Um, I
uh,
really like I really like Charmy. Obviously, I like Bro Hug,
I
Moxie.
I Bro Hug I have heard of. He's on Diverge Records, right? That's
It's
his
three
name.
guys.
Oh shit. Okay, well I
Yeah.
guess I didn't. I guess I don't know him well enough. But that's cool
Well,
actually.
no, no, yeah, they're great. Also, can't forget Joyride. I think if I had to pick one, it would be Joyride. To be honest, I mean, he's produced so many incredible tracks over the last 2 or 3 years that it almost defies belief.
He's got an album coming out soon, you know.
What?
He well, it's not official, but he put something out on Twitter saying, "I think I'm finally ready, coming soon," and then it was like a picture of like an Ausla flag or something. So
Oh, that's jumping the gun to say it's an album. Come on now.
I know, I know. It might be an EP. Hell, it might be a fucking merch drop. Which would
It might be a show. It might be a one-off show.
there's no way it's a show. There's no way it's he would not do that. Um, but yeah, I'd say there's definitely music coming soon, even if it's not an album. There's finally something coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, he barely released anything last year, and he's been pretty quiet this year. So, I
He
mean, we're all waiting.
Yeah, I mean the last thing he put out was a new breed on Housela, and then that's been it since
Mhm.
then. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Joyride's probably my favorite as well.
It's just the quality of the music. It's just there's so much going on, but it's so clean. Like it's mad.
Yeah, I mean like both Fuel Tank and Hot Drum were like
Yes.
they were both in like my favorites playlist for a long time until I got like a little tired of them and had to take a break from listening. But
Yeah.
I obviously like them now that I'm not listening to them like every day. But
Mm.
yeah, Joyride is definitely top quality. Okay, last two ones. I'm kind of curious what you say about this one because I only really know three producers who do this.
Okay.
Vomit Step.
Uh, Fatal.
See, I don't even know about Fatal. I know about Charlie Darker,
Oh yes.
Far Too Loud, and then obviously Snails.
Well, I mean,
Um,
if you're including those guys, then I think thing is Charlie Darker hasn't produced for so long, and like I'm really missing his output. Far Too Loud's kind of gone gone on the wane a little bit, even though his one of his remixes he did this year is potentially my favorite of the year so far, remix wise. Um,
damn, which one?
let me
I-
let
I-
me.
if you don't remember, it's fine. Like,
No, no, it's literally here. Blah 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 blah. It is called Gimmick Far Too Loud Remix, and the original artist is someone called Rhodes, which is Rhodz.
huh?
That is Far Too Loud in his absolute prime and element. But
Damn.
yeah, I mean, him and Charlie Darker did kind of go down that like Vomit Step route, but it's kind of through a more electro lens, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sort of. I like he did Wormhole, Far Too Loud, and that was I'm pretty sure that classifies as like not Vomit House or whatever, but like
Oh, you Vomit House, I love that.
I don't, I don't know what else to call it. Um, and he also did a bass house track. It was a remix of Religion by Black Tiger, Sex Machine, and Electric, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big
that
tune. Big
yeah
tune.
that one is mental. But yeah. So who did you say Fatal?
So Faytal, it's a guy and a girl. They are doing mad things. Like their songs. I made a video a couple of months ago about five artists that you must follow now, and they're one of them. So yeah, check them out. It's kind of like a heightened version of Vomit Step. So it's a bit more high pitched. The notes are a bit more. There's not as much space between the individual notes, so they're more like, I don't know, like scattergun approach, kind of like really in your face, as opposed to just which is like, what kind of Snails popularized. I'm sorry, that was an awful impression, but I couldn't do the little like gurgle thing in my throat. But anyway, check out Fatal. They're mad.
I I hope someone samples that like and makes a vomit synth out of that. That'd be
Or
fantastic.
just like play it right at the end of a track or something, and it's just like, one of those classic things of someone trying to interpret a song.
Ex- exactly. Um, okay. Last genre, heaviest genre. Who's your favorite death step artist?
Hmm, that's another. I think I'd have to go with Poseidon.
I that's a name I have. Wait, I think I've heard like no, not Ice Poseidon. That's a fucking streamer. But I have heard Poseidon's name thrown around because I'm so unfamiliar with most of Death Step. That I watched a few like top like 20 Death Step song videos or whatever just so I could see a few different artists, and Poseidon was
Yeah,
pretty consistently there.
that's a good idea. Yeah, people from the outside of bass music see they see, I've completely forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, Death Step, yeah. That's what I was going to say. So a lot of people from outside of bass music, they see dubstep as kind of all sounding the same, and then Death Step I see as kind of like the next level up from that. So a big reason why people don't really explore it that much is because a lot of the same sounds are used, but there's actually a lot of kind of detail and like intricacy in between certain artists. Obviously, you've got everyone on Crow's Nest and various other labels, and each one of them, even though I do admit they do sound relatively similar because of the sounds they use, they've all got their individual style. And for me, Poseidon kind of takes that to the next level in the best way. Like his the way he structures his drops for the most part in this kind of like, I don't know, it kind of incorporates standard dubstep elements into like death step formats and structures quite effortlessly, which I don't think a lot of death step does. And his intros are really epic and really full and weighty and fleshed out, and yeah, just quite more cinematic and scenic and kind of panoramic than usual. It's like it's the kind of movie score music that you would use, that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I can see myself enjoying that then because like for me, for the most part, Death Step drops are just a little too abrasive for me.
Yes,
Like
yes. That,
yeah.
that's that, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean people kind of lump it in with the one understanding that it is just too much. But yeah, every now and then you find someone who just puts their own twist on it and takes it in a pretty solid and unique direction.
Have you heard about the new subgenre that they're using to separate Death Step that's made by like Evil Wave from like people that are doing something somehow like way even heavier?
What's that?
It's called a Minotauri.
Minotauri.
Yeah, Minotauri. Which is quote like Death Step on steroids, and that's something that like so
Oh
and
gosh, I don't know if I could brace myself for that. I'm definitely going to search it up as soon as the end here, but yeah, that sounds cool. But
it
gosh, I think it might hurt me.
yeah, it's interesting, but it's like it's kind of like another extra tone for me, where it's like, there's definitely an art form here, but it's just a little too intense, I guess, for my liking. But anyway,
Before I think before we go our separate ways, I would really recommend everyone that's into dubstep to check out a load of house music whilst they can, because honestly, I feel like this can unleash a whole new avenue of appreciation for bass music. I think it's really kind of not actively underappreciated. I think people just don't know that it's a thing and that it has a lot to sell. But yeah, check out a load of house labels if you can, if you have spare time, like Night Bass, Confession, Suitor, Feature, Clandestine, with K, Gold Digger, as I said. All of these sorts of house labels, I would really recommend checking out, because I think that a lot of people who listen to really heavy music would actually find quite a find a new thing in experiencing and exploring house music. It's got the heaviness, maybe not as much, but it's got a lot of heaviness, and it's just a bit groovier, a bit sweeter, and it acts as a nice respite from the dubstep every now and then. So yeah, I recommend going down that wormhole, listeners, if you can.
who would have thought it? Nawtystep, the bass music reviewer, shouting out house on.
Mate, that is incorporated into Nawtystep. That is it. A lot of it is dark. A lot of it is electronic. No, sorry, it's all electronic, but a lot of it is dark. Sorry, and a lot of it is quite haunting stuff. People like Drezzo, Dusty Cloud. Artists like this. So
Dusty Cloud
that's
is
what I'm
great.
saying. I'm saying don't close your mind off to it, guys. Keep your eyes and ears open for the house music, because it can really it can sway you. I'm telling you that.
All right. Well, with those words of wisdom, I think it's about. We've been going for, I think, like an hour and a half at this point. Yeah, hour and 30 minutes. So about time to wrap it up.
Amazing.
Um, go subscribe to Nawtystep. His channel link is gonna be like top of the description. Same with your Twitter and everything like that. Um,
Amazing.
yeah, if you like this sort of general discussion about electronic music, then chances are you're gonna love his like more in-depth reviews of certain projects. So go check that out for more great EDM related content. My links are going to be in the description as well, and so will IMG's, because if you're seeing this video, then that means that he's the one that put it together and then uploaded it
Mhm.
to YouTube. So even though he's not in this episode, go follow him, because he's got something special coming out relatively soon. But I don't know how much he wants me to say. So
Ooh.
yeah, So keep a lookout for him. But
Shout out.
yeah, shout out. So without further ado, I think that's gonna wrap it up. So see you guys in the next one. Adios.